Hi, welcome to this week's video. It is one by request, foundations for mature skin. As we age and mature, our skin's needs change, the texture changes, and what wears well on it changes. We tend to get drier as we get older, fine lines and wrinkles settle in. So the last thing you want is makeup that's really going to impact and show the dryness and the lines and the wrinkles in the skin. We don't want to look like the cracked Sahara Desert. The only crack we want is a joke. Where'd you think I was going with that? I wanted to do a review of 6 different foundations, 3 on the lower end side, 3 on the higher end side. These are foundations that have been widely reviewed as popular, effective, tested, liked, and I'm gonna rate my favorite lower end and my favorite higher end. But let's talk about what's gonna make a foundation wear well in general, whether you are somebody with mature skin or not. There are some basic preps that are really important to get the most out of your foundation. So these are my tips for effective foundation coverage. Always apply a moisturizer before your foundation. Aging skin is usually dry and it can use an extra dose of moisture both morning and night to make sure the foundation goes on as smoothly and evenly as possible. It's also important to exfoliate regularly to remove dead skin cells that can give your skin a rough texture and dull appearance. Use a chemical exfoliator like a retinoid, AHA gel, or a scrub to manually exfoliate your face. Then of course use your favorite moisturizer before you apply foundation. Next is to add oil to the foundation. For added moisture, you can mix a drop or 2 of facial oil in your foundation before you apply it. That oil can give the makeup a little more slip so it glides over fine lines and wrinkles while adding some extra moisture too. Try using a primer that blurs fine lines, wrinkles, and other texture issues before applying foundation can help give your skin a smoother finish. One of my favorites is by Milk, and it's the Hydro Grip Primer. Wonderful for creating that extra barrier of moisture. My next tip is to use a sponge. A makeup sponge is usually the best tool for applying foundation to aging skin because you can use it to press the makeup into the skin. That prevents the foundation from settling into fine lines and wrinkles. Using your fingers to apply foundation can leave you with some splotchy and uneven areas that only accentuate those fine lines and wrinkles. But if you want a brush, opt for a soft one with synthetic bristles. Next on my list is to try a setting spray instead of powder. Aging skin usually doesn't do well with powder, so you may not want to use it to set your foundation. It can emphasize dry patches, fine lines. Powder foundation usually has a matte finish as well, which can make aging skin look flat and dull. Some exceptions are the mineral-based foundations. They've got that light reflecting property to give you kind of a healthy glow, but I highly recommend using a setting spray instead. My favorite is by Urban Decay All Nighter, and you basically pump it like a T and then an X on top of your foundation, and it will help to set it, prevent it from moving, but it won't give you that dry, cakey feel. Okay, so here are the foundations that I'm going to feature in today's video. Going from left to right, you see the 3 lower end foundations and then the 3 higher end foundations. All of these rated for mature skin, so we're going to see how they do. So my first foundation is L'Oreal Paris Age Perfect Radiant Serum Foundation with SPF 50. I went with Natural Beige. It's $11.97. Comes in 26 shades from Ivory to Espresso, made with vitamin B3, a hydrating serum. It says it doesn't settle into lines and has a light coverage. So here we go. Sometimes it's tricky with drugstore foundations because you can't try on the color. But once you sort of figure out whether you're a warm, cool, or a neutral tone, it can most certainly help you in the selection process. I am more of a neutral, so that helps me, and I tend to be more of a medium tone. So if I can find a medium neutral, I know I'm gonna get really, really close. And by the way, you can always warm up foundations with a bronzer afterward if you feel it's just a little bit too light for you. But so far, this foundation is offering me some really nice coverage. I did not do a concealer, so I'm just gonna use this foundation as a concealer as well, so that the only product you're seeing on my face is the foundation itself. Okay, so here's the L'Oreal foundation applied. It says light coverage. I personally find it to be a little bit more buildable. I find it to have a little bit more than a light coverage, which I personally like. As somebody who wears a heavy foundation for work, specifically matte and full coverage, I'm used to getting some coverage out of a foundation. So the fact that this was a little bit more than what it said made me very happy. It feels very smooth on the skin. It doesn't feel sticky or greasy in any way, but it does luminize a little bit. I can still see my skin coming through it, but it has a nice medium coverage in my opinion. So far, I think this one wears pretty well. Got the handy dandy wipes to be able to do the removal and move on to the next foundation. So number 2 on my list is by CoverGirl. It's CoverGirl and Olay Simply Ageless 3-in-1 Liquid Foundation. I went with Soft Honey. It's $11.18. Has 15 shades from Classic Ivory to Soft Sable. This one says it reduces wrinkles, improves tone, hydrates, contains hyaluronic acid, and vitamin C. It is cruelty-free as well. This one I have worn before, so let me show you how it applies. I got lucky. This is a really good match to my skin. Also has a really nice coverage to it, sort of between a light and a medium. And I feel it has a little bit more of a dewy effect compared to the L'Oreal. And that could be the infusion with the Olay product in there. But a beautiful coverage, nice and medium. If you're looking for something that feels hydrating, I definitely think this is your product. And I do like this buildable light to medium coverage. So the next one that I went with is a product I haven't used before. It is by Neutrogena, their Healthy Skin Anti-Aging Perfector Tinted Facial Moisturizer and Retinol Treatment with Broad Spectrum SPF 20 Sunscreen with titanium dioxide. This is shade 40, neutral to tan. It's $11.22. There's 6 shades. Blendable sheer coverage, it's said to even skin tone, has retinol, antioxidants, vitamins, dewy finish. So I expect this one to wear a little bit more like a BB cream than a foundation. So let's see how it goes. Definitely lighter and more sheer, no doubt about it. I think the sunscreen in it, the titanium dioxide, does give it just a little bit of a lighter cast to it. So you may want to go a hair darker than you normally would. To me, this is something that I would wear on the weekend if I have really a no makeup look, or I'm going off to a yoga class, have some errands to run, and I just want a little bit of coverage and a little bit of sunscreen, but this is not going to give you the kind of coverage of a full-on foundation per se. To me, this wears more like a BB cream. So I know it was top rated, but in terms of foundation coverage, I find it to be incredibly light. This was kind of so-so in my book. Next up, one of my favorite foundation companies, Estee Lauder Futurist Hydra Rescue Moisturizing Makeup Broad Spectrum SPF 45. It's 45 bucks. There are 28 shades from porcelain to rich espresso. This is said to be a breathable, lightweight foundation, moisturizing, natural looking, buildable, medium to full coverage, free of parabens, phthalates, drying alcohol, and mineral oils. This, I know how it's going to wear because I've had it and it's one of my absolute favorites, so let's apply. My shade is Tawny. Yeah, y'all, this is such a great foundation. I wear the Estee Lauder Double Wear Matte Foundation for work. Talk about an awesome full coverage foundation, but for mature skin and something that's not going to settle into the lines and wrinkles and give you coverage, I'm not quite sure how you're going to beat this one. Or I mean, I'm not quite sure how I'm going to beat this one. This is just really, really, really good stuff. I love this foundation for me on the weekends when I'm not going for such a heavy look and I want more of that sort of dewy J-Lo glow, and then I kick on a bronzer on top of this, and it's really, really great. So luminous, you will see a little bit of that glow. If you love that, that's great. It is a hydrating foundation, but it does have more coverage than most. Number 5 on my list is Urban Decay Stay Naked Weightless Foundation, $39, 50 shades, vegan, buildable, medium coverage. It's a lightweight foundation. It says to have a real skin look to it. This is a matte finish for up to 24 hours. I went with shade 51NN, so super neutral. I'm kind of funny this way. I like to apply my matte foundations with a brush instead of a sponge. I often feel like a sponge will soak up too much of the product. So this will be different in that it is a matte finish. You know, not everybody wants that super dewy, glowy look. Sometimes you have occasions where you need a matte polished finish and you don't want to have to add that powder at the end, like I mentioned earlier, which will only settle into those lines and exaggerate them. So you want to find a foundation that's going to offer you a matte finish and a powderless finish as well. And it's turning out to be a really nice product too. Okay, let's see what we have. Definitely more of a matte feel to it, although not a drying feel. There's a really big difference, and I'm sure you can see that. Some matte foundations have a very chalky appearance. This one still, I feel, allows some of the skin to come through. I feel there's a little bit of luminosity going on, but still it's not a dewy finish, it's more matte. And I have to say the coverage is pretty good. It's a buildable coverage, but this one seems to be a winner in my book. So now that I've practically wiped my face completely off, let's finish it up with number 6, IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Foundation, $39.50. 40 shades to choose from fair warm to deep cool. It's a buildable, medium coverage foundation. It is said to minimize the look of pores and imperfections, offer all-day hydration and wear with a natural radiant finish. It's said to be suitable for all skin types, infused with hyaluronic acid for moisturizing, aloe vera extract for calming, plus it's got vitamins E and B5, and it even claims that your skin actually will look better after 2 weeks of wear. That I don't know because I haven't worn it for 2 weeks, but we're going to give it a test run in this video. I'm trying shade medium neutral, number 33. A pretty decent match, maybe just a hair lighter than what I would normally wear. I definitely sense the hydration in this product with the hyaluronic acid. I'd say out of all of the ones that I have used, this is probably the most hydrating. So if that is something that's really important to you, then I think this and the Futurist by Estee Lauder will be your most hydrating. Although I gotta say, I think this one is offering the most coverage. Okay. You know, it's interesting. You would think that it feels sort of sticky, but it's silky. I can't explain it. My skin feels silky, but yet it has sort of a dewy look to it. And the coverage I think is great. I just wish I went just one shade darker. It's okay, I'll fix that. But I really, really like the way this foundation wears, and if it's supposed to make my skin better in 2 weeks, then muy bueno. Okay, back to bare skin and all makeup off. I'm gonna give you my honest review after wearing all 6 of these. First, let's tackle the lower end ones. I would say the Neutrogena Healthy Skin is probably my least favorite. It didn't give me the coverage that I was hoping for. It's a true tie between the L'Oreal Visible Lift and the CoverGirl Simply Ageless. I think that this was a little more dewy, the CoverGirl. The L'Oreal was a little bit more matte, a little bit. So it really depends on the kind of finish that you're looking for, but both of these are excellent products and gave me the kind of coverage, a nice medium coverage that I was looking for. Okay, so on the higher end side, this is where it gets really tricky because you know I'm a huge fan of the Estee Lauder, the Futurist. I've had this, but you know what? These two kind of surprised me. You know, the Urban Decay Naked, the matte one, I loved. I was thrilled to be able to offer a matte product in the mix here that didn't dry out my skin. And the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better was just incredible. So it's probably going to be between these two on the higher end. Not to say that I don't love my Estee Lauder. I do love it so much, but I know it and I've used it, so I'm excited about these two new ones. They may not be new for you, but they're new for me. So anyway, that is my foundation for mature skin review. Kind of was cool for me to get out there and test run new products that are in a different line than I'm accustomed to, but I really do like to shift gears on the weekends and bring things down to more of a natural look. So now I've got this fabulous assortment from which to choose. In the comment section below, let me know what you want to see on this channel, the kind of content that you're looking for. If you enjoy this, give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, your girlfriends, your mom, your daughter, your sister, whomever. Follow me on social media in between the Thursday 1 o'clock Central Standard Time releases where I'm here on YouTube. I'm always on social media trying to engage and have the conversation there about the importance of self-care, the importance of you and investing in yourself. So with all your new foundations to try, go out, be bold and be blessed, and I'll see you next week.